Hey, I'm Erin. On this channel, I show you how to turn your OnlyFans into a real business. You've tried Reddit, you've tried Twitter, posting sexy pics every day, and you feel like your OnlyFans just isn't quite growing. And if this sounds familiar, you're not alone. The truth is, what worked in 2020 just does not work anymore. And if you are still using those old washed out strategies, then you're wasting your time and your energy as well. In this video, I'm going to break down all the biggest mistakes that I see OnlyFans creators make in 2025 and what's working right now. So let's start with what's not working anymore, like the outdated strategies. First, we have spamming on Reddit. I'm not a fan of this. I think Reddit is such a spammy platform anyway. And you can't just expect to post lewd photos. And if you don't know what lewd means, it's basically like, not nude, but it's like tease. You can't expect to just do that and just get rich overnight from Reddit. The guys that come from Reddit are literally such freeloaders. If it's not a free link, they're probably not even gonna subscribe. And if they do, they're gonna be expecting free content or really cheap content, because a lot of creators on Reddit do actually show everything. And if you're following the strategy that we personally use as a business, then obviously it's not recommended to do that because you're giving too much away for free. So yeah, it's not really a great way to grow, to be honest. It's oversaturated, everyone's trying to do it, and to be honest, it did work a few years ago. I'd say between like 2020 and maybe 2022, this was quite a good method, but Reddit's got a bit more strict now and it's just very spammy. It doesn't really work anymore. And if you're still using Reddit and it is working for you, then that's brilliant, but honestly, if you're not using Reddit right now, don't bother. The thing is as well, it's not even that it just doesn't work. 90% of creators are using it wrong. I feel like as well, so many people just assume Reddit's good because you can be anonymous. And I mean, there is kind of truth in that, but at the same time, I believe that if you're doing OnlyFans, you should be open to it. I feel like you should be in it to grow as big as possible. Maybe at first you don't want people knowing that you do it, or maybe you do want to use a stage name so it's not like your full names on the internet, which is perfectly fine. But I always say to people, if you don't want people knowing, then it's probably not best to do it, because at the end of the day, if you start making big money, for example, let's say you make 50 grand in a month, people are going to find out. And if you go viral as well, people are going to find out. So if you're not really in it 100%, then I would suggest not to do it at all. Unless you do just want a bit of like spare money on the side. Obviously you can do it anonymously for a bit of extra money, but the big money does not come from doing it anonymously. And by that I don't mean stage names. Like, you could still have a stage name. I mean like having a face to like what you're doing, basically. And next is Twitter, and I feel like so many people are still trying to use this platform, but it's just not how it used to be. I think where it became X and it's not Twitter anymore, a lot did change, but I feel like, again, the sort of traffic that comes from this platform is just very spammy, and these subs are just not high leverage, not high value subs at all. The sort of subs that will come in, they'll expect cheap content, you to reply to them every second of the day, even if they don't spend money. They're gonna expect a free link when they join. They're gonna complain that your sub price costs more than $5, and they're going to be like, oh, why would I pay for your content when there's loads of free stuff on the internet? Yeah, those guys. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying don't have Twitter, I'm just saying it's not a good platform to rely on. Unless you're already famous and have a big or a niche audience, I really wouldn't recommend it. It just doesn't convert how it used to, like a few years ago. It's just like an echo chamber now. Like nothing really comes from it. It's not worth it at the end of the day. There's girls who I know personally who have like 100k followers on Twitter, and they get a lot of retweets, they get likes, but the subs that convert from Twitter just aren't valuable, and there's not a good conversion rate at all. Another is over-sexualizing everything. I get it, it's OnlyFans, but at the end of the day, if all you're offering is hot girl content, you're competing with thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people. And if you're all doing the same thing, it's just a lot of competition. And even worse, you don't get to build that connection with people. And again, take it with a pinch of salt, because obviously you do have to kind of sexualize yourself a little bit to sell, but it doesn't necessarily mean posting more like nude content. There are so many other ways where you can promote yourself in like a suggestive way that doesn't require you over-sexualizing yourself. Now, the next one is a bit of a controversial one. I speak with models now who are still set in their way with this one, but being in too many niches. Being in too many niches is just not it. And by this, I have two scenarios. The first thing is, back a few years ago, people would have like multiple accounts. They'd have like an office girl account, a pottery account, a gym girl account, and Of course it can still work, but we always say to our creators, why put all this effort into so many accounts when you could just put all your effort into just one account? Especially with like Instagram and their terms of service update, they do not want you having multiple accounts. There's nothing stopping you, but I mean, there could be in the future, right? They're always changing their terms of service. This is just a side note. If you're a creator using social media and organic growth strategies, 100% always keep up to date with the terms of service of these platforms. It's changing constantly and it's actually getting more strict. So just to avoid your accounts getting banned or videos being removed, just stay up to date with the terms of service. You will thank me later. But yeah, I feel like having all these multiple niches just isn't working anymore. I mean, again, like you can make it work, but you're just putting so much effort into like loads of accounts and too many things. And it's just, you're doing more than what you get back at the end of the day. You can put more effort into one account and you might be like, oh, what if it gets banned? You just have to protect that main account like it's your baby. As for the second scenario, I'm more saying like niches as in like dominatrix, MILF, cosplay. If you're in a niche like that, you should really stay in your lane kind of thing. I feel like if you're mixing girl next door and dominatrix, it's not really going to work because it's quite different. Like the girl next door is like the cute, innocent, like I want to get to know her kind of vibe, and obviously a dominatrix is very, you know, dominant and in your face and a bit more like darker, more like dark feminine, if you know what I mean. So there's some niches you really shouldn't mix. But saying that, if you do have one account and you do focus in on it, if you really make your niche you and you kind of implement different things into your page, then it's non-compete, because at the end of the day, no one can replicate you. You are your own person. There's another thing we say to people, because instead of just copying everyone and just being in a niche for the sake of it, just integrate things into like who you are. Like on your main Instagram page, there's nothing stopping you doing like gym content if you genuinely like going to the gym and you feel like it could help with promotion, and then doing some cooking content, because at the end of the day, everyone cooks, right? So you can implement it. You don't have to have like a separate cooking page. You can implement it into your main page like it's lifestyle content. And then like with cosplay, if you're really into cosplay and that's kind of your niche, I would suggest to keep your page as just cosplay. But if it's your main account and you do like dressing up here and there in some cosplay, then you could implement it here and there, like maybe do some transition reels. But if you don't want to make it your whole niche and whole personality, then that's fine. You could just implement it. You can take things from each niche and put it onto your one account. But obviously going back to if you're heavily in a niche, it is better to stay in one niche, because obviously you want to build your audience around that. Like for example, if you're a dominatrix, you're really going to want to keep it as dominatrix vibes. You're not going to want to bring stuff in from other niches, because the type of audience you'd get from being a dominatrix is quite specific, so you do want to really focus in on that. The thing is as well, people want like a consistent character that they can fall in love with, and this stems back to me saying about like making the niche you, because then you can show your personality. At the end of the day, you may be surprised, you may not, but these subscribers aren't just there for your looks. If it was just like looks being a competition, there is so much competition, but to stand out, you really need to put your personality into it. And lastly, trying to look good instead of being entertaining. Pretty much what I just said, like you don't want to just use your looks. Like obviously looks do help, but at the same time, it is kind of about that entertainment factor. But on platforms like TikTok and YouTube, like personality is what grabs people's attention. And you really have to put your personality across on these platforms to kind of stand out, if that makes sense. Instagram Reels, TikToks, YouTube videos, even going live, like your personality is being put into that. Like looks do help with those, of course, but if someone's scrolling and they just see someone good looking, it's not necessarily going to stop them from scrolling and click on your content. If it's something that hooks them straight away, like having either a visual or an audio hook in a video, that's really important. And then obviously following from the hook, having something entertaining, funny. Like what grabs people's attention is story, personality, emotion. Try and implement these things into your content. Your personality is very important. Make sure to utilize it. Now, these are the 5 things that people make mistakes with, and these are the things that kind of did work a few years ago, which don't really work now. Obviously, there are other things, like, for example, dating apps. People used to use Tinder to swipe everyone and obviously use that as a way to market. Tinder did not like that. They've actually made it really hard to do that now, but I'm sure there's still some creators out there trying to use the dating apps method. Again, this is like another method which I just would not recommend at the end of the day. It is very long-winded for the results you're going to get from it. Now, let's get on to the next part, the stuff that creators don't want to hear. So if you're doing OnlyFans, you're self-employed, right? So technically you have a business. Like, your OnlyFans on your page, on your brand is your business. That means you need systems, you need marketing strategies, you need time management, you need customer service skills and sales experience, because your chatting on your page technically requires customer service and sales techniques. And drumroll please, the thing that creators don't want to hear is they're treating it like a side hustle, they're not treating it like a business. And as it's a business, you do need that business mindset, whether you want to scale to 5 figures a month, 6 figures a month, or even beyond that. Like, you do need that business mindset to scale. So that being said, if you're not learning, you're not testing new things, and you're not evolving, then you're gonna fall behind. If not, you're already falling behind. Like, for example, I'm a business owner and I have to have that business mindset to be able to scale these creators. We're constantly learning new things, learning new techniques, creating new systems, developing new methods, training our team to just be top notch. And it does take that business mindset. It is a lot, and you do need to be able to manage your time. You need to be able to take criticism. You need to learn that you can fail. And having a business mindset is hard, because obviously you're going to fail. There's going to be times you make mistakes, and you have to just learn from them and just build back better. Build back better, was that a COVID saying in lockdown? But yeah, a bit of advice from me is, if you're going to treat your OnlyFans like a business because you want to scale massive, then you need to do what like business owners do. The amount of creators I come across who have a bad mindset, like obviously you can train your mindset and you can change it, but a lot of creators I come across are in a bad mindset with what they're doing. None of them are managing their time properly. They've never tested new things. They're just kind of following the crowd. They're not coming up with unique ideas. They're not learning any new information. I'm going to put on the screen a few books I'd recommend for you to read that help with mindset. And now it does sound silly to be reading these books to run an OnlyFans page, but at the end of the day, like I said, it is a business, and if you treat it like a business, then you'll scale and you'll hit those 5-figure months, you'll hit those 6-figure months, and you'll grow massively. So you're probably wondering, oh, what works now then? You're saying all these methods don't work anymore, then what shall I do? So what is working in 2025? Entertainment first content. You need to have entertaining content. I touched on this a bit earlier. TikToks, Reels, YouTube videos. Make people laugh, make people feel something. Emotion is so important. Tell stories. Be funny. There are so many content verticals you can do that utilize these things. And we've actually built a system which we have different content verticals which fit different creators. And we come up with ideas for our creators as well, which have the entertainment factor. Make people feel emotion, make them want to watch your video. You need that screen time, you need to get them hooked on you. Use hooks in your videos. I think this is the most important one, but having a personal brand. Now, a personal brand is just like basically a portfolio of like showing what you do, like showcasing you. So for example, my Instagram is Erin OFM, and I post on there like lifestyle stuff, business related stuff. I give out advice for people who do OnlyFans, and I make reels targeting that. So my personal brand is based around me being a business owner, right? And the reason I do that is so my audience becomes my potential clients. The same would be for you. You'd be having your potential subscribers become part of your audience on social media. But entertainment works every time. And this links back with the entertainment side of things. If you're using your personality, then that helps you build your personal brand. Think of a personal brand like a fingerprint. Like, everyone's is different. Like, you can take what works and you can test. It's your own just platform. You can just do what you want with it. You can test new things. You can post what you want. You can create like a version of you online. Next is high converting funnels. And if you don't know what this is, it's mainly to do with conversion. So an example would be, let's say you post a reel and it goes viral. You get a load of followers from it. Now you want to convert them over to your OnlyFans. So you need to use a strategy that's going to help convert them over to your OnlyFans. Whether this is a link in bio strategy, something to do with what you're posting on your stories, or just like trying to get people to click funnel basically. So simplicity scales, right? And what I mean by that is a subscriber doesn't want to come to your Instagram, click the link in your bio, fill out 10 forms, click another link, and by the time they've done that, they're already fatigued. They can't be bothered anymore to subscribe to you. You've lost their attention. So it would be better if they click one thing, your page pops up and boom, there's no thought behind it. It's very easy, A to Z, and they can subscribe. And the amount of potential subscribers you'd lose from having bad funnels is pretty high. Lastly is delegating. No successful business or business owner runs things on their own. Now, take it from me, for example, I don't run everything alone. I have a business partner and I have a whole team behind me. To scale as much as I have, there is no way I could have done this alone. There's only so much you can do on your own. The creators who scale big either partner with experts or build a team behind them. At the end of the day, there's so much you've got to think about when you're running OnlyFans. You've got to post on socials, staying consistent, you've got to come up with content ideas, you've got to take the content, you've got to sit on your page doing the messages, which again, if you're not active a lot of the time, there's so much money being left on the table. I always say this, but if you're not online for 10 minutes of the day and a big spender logs on as you come off your page, you might have just missed out on so much money. Like, it could happen to anyone at any point. And to be honest, having a team on your page would just minimize all these things. So how would you win with help? Here's the thing as well, not everyone wants to be a business owner and they don't have that business mindset, but that's okay. But if you're serious about scaling, it's so important, and I cannot stress this enough, for you to partner with experts who live and breathe in the industry. So for example, that's exactly what we do at Cotton Candy. So we help our creators build that profitable personal brand, we automate their growth, we use our proven organic growth systems, and most importantly, we scale to consistent 5-figure months at least. And all of this without burning out, because we have a team behind us. If you feel like you're doing everything but not quite scaling, not quite growing, it's probably because you're using these outdated strategies and not using proven systems to scale. I guess the point of this video is to just explain that what worked back a few years ago does not work today. Things are constantly changing, and that's why you've got to be in that business mindset. It is about learning new things, staying up to date with new things, and at the end of the day, stuff changes all the time. You have to stay up to date with it. You have to keep an eye on what's changing, what works. You have to track things, you have to have systems in place, and obviously, like I said, not everyone has that business mindset, but it's okay. But if this video hit a little close to home for you, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. I'll reply to every comment on this video. And if you're ready to stop guessing and start growing, then drop me a message on Instagram. I'll put my Instagram on screen and it's also in the description as well. Drop me a message and we can have a chat. Look, you don't have to do this alone, so let's scale your OnlyFans and do what actually works for the rest of 2025. And thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next video. And don't forget to subscribe.